What's going on, guys? Gemini here, and today I thought I'd bring you a few Pokemon that really helped me personally climb the rank ladder. I've had trouble playing solo queue almost exclusively, and I really feel like this video might be able to help you guys out with climbing the rank ladder and, doing better than this season. So I've got a group of 5 that are more the hyper carries and damage dealers kind of jungle area Pokemon, and if you feel really confident playing their jungle area, you feel pretty mechanically sound because a lot of these Pokemon do require you to get the mechanics pretty down pat. So if you're feeling really confident in that area, then definitely look at the first 5 Pokemon. But I've also got another group of 5 that are more, if you're newer to the game, I definitely recommend picking those ones over the carries, because if you're trying to learn the mechanics of the game, trying to learn your macro as well as your micro, these Pokemon will make your time a lot easier. They help you to enable your teammates, cover for their bad mistakes, and honestly, you're very well loved if you pick supports and tanks. So, which is what the last 5 are. Personally, I love playing supports and tanks as well, even though I feel like I do have some decent mechanics in this game. My micro's not too bad, my macro's okay. But I still like to play those supportive characters and really help your teammates out, really kind of enable what they want to do. And it really helps everyone you're kind of lifting up everybody's gameplay by playing these characters. So both options are very good, and hopefully they'll help you get, higher in the ranks. So before we get into the video, I'd really like to ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. I really appreciate that. So first up is a Pokemon that I kind of didn't really want to include in my list, but also it's kind of the most appropriate Pokemon to have on the list. You could honestly just say this is the entire list, because Dacian is the most broken Pokemon we've seen come to unite. It's more broken than Duraludon on release, it's more broken than Sylveon on release. It is just a solo queue stomper. If you get like a Comfy or a support helping you out, then it's GG, it's game over. The kit that Dacian has is just incredible. It's very, very powerful, and on it, I think I am legally obligated to tell you, please don't play this Pokemon until it gets a nerf. Nerfs are definitely coming, but until it gets its nerfs, this Pokemon, it can pretty much do whatever it wants. It can run through your Flux Zone. It can do anything it wants to do if it feels like it, and it goes completely unpunished. And yeah, if you really wanted to, if you were desperate, absolutely desperate, and you're having a bad time, you can probably pick this one up. And honestly, you don't actually have to be mechanically sound to pick this one up. You can just pretty much do whatever you want and you'll just win games. So yeah, Dacian is busted, and it's the easiest Pokemon to climb ranks with. Okay, up next we have one of probably my favorite mages in the game. It's very, very fun to play. That's Delphox. Delphox has been one of the strongest mages that's been in the games for a long time. Probably ever since I think the Flame Charge buffs really made it very, very strong when they really buffed that cooldown. This was a while back. It has recently got some nerfs to Flame Charge, but it also got some buffs to Fire Blast to kind of bring that up to speed, because pretty much the go-to build was just Mystical Fire and Flame Charge. Now you can kind of run Fire Blast with Flame Charge, and that's not too bad, especially if you have trouble hitting, because Mystical Fire has more of a narrow hitbox, and if you're having trouble with that, you can definitely try and run Fire Blast, and that's pretty good. But I think the build still definitely is that Mystical Fire Flame Charge. If you're hitting your Mystical Fires and you're at level 11, you get that cooldown, that little cooldown reset almost. You're just playing with no cooldowns almost, and it's insane. This Pokemon is crazy. I definitely recommend playing in the jungle because it takes a little while to hit its power spikes, but when it does hit the power spikes, it's insane. You have your Unite move every big fight, you've definitely got your Unite move up. Even random fights, I think it's the cooldown on its Unite move is insane, and it just does so much. It slows down the healing, it does damage over time, it slows enemies who are caught inside it. It's one of the best Unite moves, probably one of the best kits all around in the game, and it's just an incredible Pokemon. If you really want to do damage and carry your teams, I definitely recommend picking up Delphox and giving it a shot. So now we have Espeon. Espeon has been a very, very good Pokemon for quite a while. It's been getting slowly buffed over time and just getting stronger and stronger, and I think the latest buffs, with the increase of the range to the Psyshock, have just made it over the top. It's definitely pretty much meta. It was right on the cusp of being meta, and now it's pretty much right in there. It's one of the highest picked Pokemon in the game right now. It's just insane. The range is crazy. It hits like an absolute truck. It's a menace to the game right now. It's one of the probably drawbacks is you don't really have that mobility. So you don't really have that escape, that little dash that gets you out of trouble and helps you to escape if you're caught, basically. But I definitely recommend if you run like eject button, preferably, or maybe you could run X speed if you really wanted to. But I think eject button's a little bit better personally, but you could run either. You just need something to get you out of trouble. But yeah, the stuns from Psyshock and then the Psybeam hitting. So if you hit someone who's stunned with Psybeam, it like sends that stun to enemies behind that Pokemon or near that Pokemon. Like it fans it out. It's a little mechanic that I didn't even know until recently, and it's amazing. Like you hit someone with Psyshock, bang, Psybeam. If there's enemies behind them, boom, they're all stunned. You can get like, if you get the entire team, that's crazy. Its Unite move is pretty good too. You can catch a bunch of Pokemon and like hold them up for a little bit, and then it pushes them away. It can be really good if you combo it with something else though, because it doesn't do crazy amounts of damage, but it's good to just kind of stop everyone for a moment. But yeah, with the recent buffs due to the Battle Pass, then I think Espeon is a great Pokemon for climbing the ladder. It can do quite a lot of damage. You do want to make sure you have like your peelers, your tanks, your supports kind of to cover for you though, definitely. So, fourth Pokemon on the list is a Pokemon that's been quite strong for a while, pretty much since it released, really. Mew has been an absolute menace to the game. It's gotten a bunch of nerfs, but it's still very strong. You see it played a lot, especially in like team comps where the people are, I guess, playing together. You got your, like, if you're playing in trios or even 5 stacks, you really like. Mew is just a very strong Pokemon. You get that early Solar Beam or even Electro Ball I see being used more now. It's got great secure and it slows enemies down if it hits them. It's been very strong. Its boosted attack has fallen off quite a lot because of the nerfs, but it's still crazy strong. It was ridiculous before, but now it's a bit more in tune. But still, it's just a very strong move, and this Pokemon can do so much. You can change your moves around. It's definitely probably one of the harder Pokemon to use, like, mechanically, I find, and I struggle with this Pokemon quite a bit, but if you can get the mechanics, the micro of Mew down pat and really understand that, it's a very strong Pokemon, and you can just absolutely dominate games with it. And plus, its Unite move is like a get out of jail free card. You get in trouble, bang, pop the Unite move, you're invincible as long as you don't attack anyone. If you attack someone, then they can see you and you're just screwed, basically. But it's a very strong Pokemon right now, and definitely worth picking up and giving a shot for the climbing the ladder. Okay, last Pokemon on my list of the first group of 5 is Gengar. Now, this might be semi-controversial. People might think other Pokemon should be on this list more so, and that's fine. If you disagree, if you have another 5, you can leave it below in the comments. That's fine. But personally, I'm a massive fan of Gengar. Now, in 5 stacks, trios, duos, it might struggle a bit, but I'm talking about solo queue matches here. So I think Gengar is still one of the best solo queue jungle Pokemon you can play in the game. If you play Shadow Ball Dream Eater and you can hit those skill shots, it's just incredible. It snowballs matches. You get that level advantage on the enemy, and they struggle to deal with you the entire match. It can get very, very strong. I go up against Gengars now, and still sometimes you go up against a good Gengar, they give you a lot of grief. Especially a Gengar who knows the ins and outs. You need to, like, the difference between a good Gengar and a great Gengar, there's quite a massive gap. Like, even if you're good with Gengar, you're still going to probably struggle some matches. Like, you need to be very good with this Pokemon to, like, but if you're very good, if you're even great with this Pokemon, you just stomp solo queue matches. It's insane. They just have no way of being able to deal with you. You can kind of do whatever you want. You miss a skill shot, you are dead. But if you're hitting your skill shots and you don't get too overconfident, diving in and all that stuff, if you keep a level head the entire match, the stuff you can pull off is insane. And plus, like, you can steal Ray using your combination of Unite move and the Dream Eater. I've done it a few times, and it definitely, you can make up for having bad teammates by just absolutely dominating with Gengar. At the same time, though, I've had matches where I had terrible teammates and we're actually getting stomped, but I'm having an amazing match. And it's just crazy. Like, you can still basically carry your team on your back to victory with this Pokemon. It's very, very strong still. Okay, first up on my list of, I guess, the non-hyper carries, non-super damage dealer Pokemon is Trevenant. Trevenant, I think last season, was the Pokemon that brought me almost exclusively brought me to Master 1600. It's just amazing. It got buffed again. It's been getting so many buffs, and Pain Split is no longer a meme like moveset. It's quite good right now. I was playing Pain Split and Woodhammer. It's very good. You can play Horn Leech and Woodhammer also. That's a really great moveset as well. It has such an incredible ability to stay alive. It's got that, if you got running Pain Split, you got that kind of life steal / life drain effect. With Horn Leech, you can push enemies or push farm away or put them out of position, as well as like your healing when you do that. Woodhammer is just the move. I mean, Curse is really good still, but Woodhammer, just the buffs they made, like the little buff they made to be able to get that second one out really fast, it makes a massive difference. It's very, very good right now. The stuns, like having 2 stuns, it's insane. It's very bad, and also the area of effect for Woodhammer is quite large. Like it probably nearly needs a nerf, to be honest. Like it's very, very good right now. Trevor's in an amazing spot. It lives forever. It stuns. You do exactly what you want a tank to do. You can peel for your team. You can cover their escape. You can sit there and brawl, and you can just waste time. I had a match where I was just sitting there, and there was like 3 enemies all on me, and I just lived for so long, wasting so much time. This is after the raid fight, after we scored. Now, most of my team was dead. Like half my team was dead, I think, or more. But the enemy could have gone and scored, but they were trying to deal with me. There's 3 of them on me. That means only 2 of them could potentially go score. I think we still have 1 teammate alive, which means only 1 could have gotten an easy score, possibly. And yeah, so you just like if they had have all gone and scored, we couldn't have done anything. But you're sitting there, you're holding the enemies up for so long, and by the time they eventually killed me, there was like 10 seconds left of the match. They didn't have time to even get across the other side of the map. So stuff like that, it's just really, really makes Tree very, very powerful. I definitely recommend picking it up. It doesn't take a lot of skill to play. It's quite a good Pokemon. But if you do get skilled with it, it's very, very strong. Secondly on my list of like tank support type Pokemon is definitely Blastoise. Blastoise is not just a pure tank. It can do a lot of damage, and you can really go crazy with it. It does a lot, has a like really high health, and you can get like pretty high special attacks. When you run special attack specs along with Slick Spoon, a very, very deadly combination. You can run this, like there's many ways you can run this. Probably the main 2 ways is definitely like Surf Hydro Pump. It gives you that ability to kind of push Pokemon out of position, and you can peel for your teammates, which, for those who don't know, because peeling as a defender means kind of, think about it like this way, you peel a banana, so you're pulling the enemy away from, say, your carries or your squishies. That's what peeling is. So you can really peel for your teammates with that build, or alternatively, you can actually run Water Spout and Rapid Spin, and you can just chase really well. You spit out a lot of damage. The best way to do it also, because I've seen a lot of people have issues, is you hold in Water Spout when you're in the Rapid Spin. Don't press it, just hold it in. That way you're getting it out faster, and you just do crazy amounts of damage. And then the most important part of Blastoise's kit is the engage ability with your Unite. Now, if you're running Blastoise, definitely recommend running Eject Button, because it combos so nicely with your Rapid Spin, but also combos with your Unite move. You can start your Unite move, Eject Button in, and then catch a couple of extra Pokemon. So for example, like if there's 2 and they're like on the outskirts, and you're going to catch them in your Unite move, you can Eject Button in, and you might get like, say, the entire team, or even like 4 people at the Ray fight. It's really good. Like it's definitely probably one of the best Pokemon you can have to engage at the Ray fight, because you jump in, you use your Unite move, you catch everyone with the Eject Button, and you knock them all up, and then your team just kind of comes in, they swarm the enemies, you try and take them out as fast as possible, and then you rip Ray. Definitely, it's one of the greatest Pokemon. Like, it's really good right now, in a great spot. This Pokemon, you either definitely saw coming from the start of the video, or you're very confused why I would be recommending this for solo queue. Comfey is in quite a good spot despite its release. Like, it's really, really weak on release, but it's gotten a good amount of buffs, and it's quite strong right now. But like, you are also very dependent on your teammates, which is kind of weird in solo queue, but I found if you have a decent teammate and you have someone who's picking the carries, Comfey is the ultimate enabler Pokemon. It amplifies what your teammates want. It is the definition of a support. You know, you want to make sure that you have a teammate that's not going to get burst down really quickly. Like, you don't want a teammate like Decidueye. That would be probably not the ideal Pokemon to be supporting. You want someone like Dacian, or you want like a Garchomp, a Tyranitar, you know, one of those Pokemon that an Urshifu, like especially the water build, definitely is very, very good to support with Comfey. You can hop on them, you can kind of enable them. Some teammates might get a little bit too trigger happy and dive too deep in the enemies, but Comfey is really, really good at helping to cover that a little bit, and also just kind of supporting the team. You know, you run that Sweet Kiss, or you run the Floral Healing, whichever floats your boat. You run the Magical Leaf, or you can run the Grass Knot and kind of root the enemies, but either way, you're getting those stuns, you're helping out whoever your damage, like your main carries are, and you're really supporting them, helping them to kind of make more plays. You can jump, make sure you're jumping off and detaching and not just sitting on them, because when you detach, you're getting more flowers. Detach into a bush, you immediately get 4 flowers, and you can jump back on, you can do better healing, better shields, all that kind of stuff. You definitely want to be doing that as much as you can, while also not jumping off in the middle of a fight while you're surrounded, because you are very squishy. But yeah, in terms of solo queue, like if you actually find you're having some good carries, but they're just not quite able to stay alive long enough, or not quite able to do exactly what they want to do, then Comfey is a really good Pokemon to just kind of help, give them that little extra boost, and then they can kind of just start running rampant on the other team. Next up is Slowbro, and this is a Pokemon I'm not the best with personally, but I can't make a top 10 or top 5 or any kind of list of Pokemon that are really good for solo queue without including the Bro. I mean, there is no better carry counter in the game. Its Unite move, unbelievable. This is probably like the best counter to Dacian and what Dacian wants to do, because you just catch it in the air, you can't stop its Unite move. It's just unbelievably powerful. But Slowbro, not just that, not just the Unite move. It's got moves like, it's got Amnesia, which you can also do a similar thing, catch them in the air. That one doesn't do damage, but still you can catch them in the air and burst them down a bit. It's got the... Did I say Amnesia? I meant Telekinesis. Amnesia is the one that heals. You can actually heal yourself a little bit with Amnesia. Then you've got all moves like Surf, which is good stuns, especially when you get that Surf Plus and you get the stuns on every hit. But also Scold. Scold is just very, very good right now. You can build Slowbro for damage and do crazy damage. You do, again, lack that mobility. This is kind of like how Espeon has. You don't really have that mobility, but yeah, you can live for a while. You're a little bit more team dependent, but you can live. And yeah, Scold is actually very strong. You can do a lot of damage with it. You can last hit with it, and you get a level 4, which is pretty powerful. Slowbro, yeah. Slowbro is in a really good spot. I definitely recommend, if you're new to the game, try and learn how to play the Bro. Look up some guides, look up some tutorials, and just kind of learn how to play it, because I guarantee if you get really good with Slowbro, it can actually carry games. It's an insane Pokemon. It's very, very good, in an amazing spot right now. And it's always great to counter the carries. Okay, final Pokemon for the list, and I had a lot of trouble thinking, who am I going to put on the list? I really like Fable. I love what that can do. There's so many good defenders. Mamoswine's in a great spot. Snorlax is not too bad. I mean, there's so many options for your supports and your tanks that can really help in solo queue. But at the end of the day, I had to just say Blissey. Blissey's entire kit is built around supporting your teammates, and it does an amazing job of it. It has great single target healing, similar to Comfey. It can tank a lot of hits. It's got very high health points, and it heals itself as well. Unlike Comfey, it's quite good. You got your helping hand build. You got your safeguard as well, so you can shield. So say if the enemy team has a lot of stuns, you can be running safeguard and kind of help stop stuff like that. It really shuts down Buzzwole a lot, but also Fable stops it with gravity. But yeah, a lot of healing. It's a great support Pokemon. You can, because you got such high health, you can block certain moves. Like you can block, say, the boost attack of Mew for your teammate, and then heal them up. It's really strong. And then, honestly, the most important part of the kit, the Unite move, it's just very, very powerful. Clefable's, this is kind of why I chose Blissey over Clefable, because Clefable, you've got that kind of, its Unite move is strong, but it's also very random, and it's not as consistent. It is on a lower cooldown, I'm pretty sure, but it's not quite what, like, Blissey's Unite is just so good. if you have like a carry or whatnot and they can just dash through the enemy, you can get them to dash to the other side, and then when you're both on opposite sides, you can unite move as long as they're in range, and you dash to your teammate, running through the enemies, getting all the stuns and knockups, doing absurd amounts of damage. Like, the amount of damage you do is just, it's insane. I feel like it shouldn't be doing quite that much damage, but it does a lot. And then yeah, you put that shield on your teammate, put the eggs around them, and it's really strong. Definitely, you can never go wrong with Blissey. It's always a great Pokemon to pick up. I can never recommend it enough, especially if you're new to the game, if you want to help your teammates out. The healing it does, it can stay alive, it can last hit also really, really well, especially with the early is it like Pound, I believe? The last hitting on that is really, really good, and its boosted attack also has some decent last hitting as well. So you got some good last hitting early on, as well as, yeah, like your healing, your support ability, it's pretty strong. So 100% recommend Blissey. So that's it, everybody. That's 10 Pokemon that you can use to help climb those Unite ranks and help you. Hopefully this video has helped you out a bit. Hopefully you've picked up a Pokemon, or you've found out a Pokemon that you really might want to try out that might help you. Maybe you're already using some of these Pokemon and you want to try something similar. But yeah, hopefully the suggestions are really helpful and help you climb to Masters, and hopefully I'll see you all at Master 16 rank. And if you made this part of the video, I really appreciate you. Drop a like, drop a comment, and yeah, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!